Okay, so there is perhaps no other small cap stock that is so closely followed, other than the one we're going to be talking about in this video. This is a poorly understood but very popular 3D printing stock because it has become a huge player in a rapidly increasing market, and because it has the backing of the famous ARK Invest, which as recently as last week bought even more shares of this stock. This is a stock that went from 50 cents to $11.45 in under a year, and many people are saying that this is just the beginning for this stock. Some folks have even called for this stock to 10x in the next year. And I know that many of you are either in a position already or are considering a position, so I want to cover this stock now. And if I didn't already give you enough hints, the stock that we're talking about is Nano Dimension, NNDM. And I am going to violently be giving my complete breakdown of this stock, as well as some of my price predictions. And of course, the only thing that I ask of you in return is that you hit that ravishing like button, and also don't forget to subscribe. Also, quick plug, if you're wondering what broker to trade these stocks on, well, we always like to send new traders over to Webull. Webull offers very important features such as pre-market and after-hours trading and some of the best scanning capabilities that I've seen. And they are still offering free stocks if you both sign up and deposit with our link in the description below. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Nano Dimension. So Nano Dimension is a 3D printing company that builds machines that are aimed to act as one-stop solutions for manufacturing circuit boards. Circuit boards? What the hell is that? Well, circuit boards are needed in literally every single type of electronic computing device, which is pretty much everything. You got your iPhone, you got your computer, the camera that I'm filming this video on, you got this Apple Pencil that I just use for flinging around. It all needs a circuit board. How it works right now is that currently most companies outsource to other manufacturers who are often in foreign countries such as China in order to get their boards manufactured. But outsourcing instead of taking the entire development in-house is an efficiency cost and security risk. For example, if you are relying on China and the global supply chain is compromised by, say, I don't know, a pandemic, and China decides to close down the entire supply chain, well, then your company would be screwed if you don't have a local alternative. And odds are strong that the local alternative is going to be very expensive. What if your company is in the early stages of a huge new product that you don't want anybody to know about so they don't steal? If you have a proprietary technology, would you really want to ship that over to China? I wouldn't trust them. Even shipping that domestically to domestic manufacturers, I don't know if I would trust that. If one person leaks it, you're scrooged. Outsourcing new innovative technology is sort of like the smartest kid in class, outsourcing the filling in of answers to the random kid behind him. Like, yeah, the smartest kid had the answers to the test first, but if they outsource it to the other kid, he's going to know the answers too. But besides intellectual property concerns, there's also efficiency concerns. If you are a company trying to prototype, aka test out a new product, how efficient is it really to send that prototype over to China and have them build it? Prototyping can mean waiting for weeks for circuit boards instead of having the option to just print them in hours in-house. So basically, this is the solution that early stage company NNDM is promising to offer, and has made some strides in actually offering. By buying one of their Dragonfly machines, you can take the entire process of manufacturing these crucial components in-house. Okay, but back to the good stuff, the charts. Back in mid-May 2020, NNDM went from being a peasant, pathetic penny stock at 70 cents to jumping nearly 10x to $6. Why? Well, because they finally showed some proof of concept. It's one thing to promise that you can do something, it's another to actually show some proof that you can. But nonetheless, of course, stocks will be stocks, and it cooled off for many months, and then boom, we got the start of a consistent uptrend that has lasted months. Now, as a dirty, greedy trader, I look at a trend like this, and I say, based on the chart, we broke into an upward direction over our red directional SMA line way back in September, and we've continued that momentum for months, suggesting that the momentum is continuing strong despite waves in the uptrend. So that means we can buy in during the pushbacks and ride the strength overall. But of course, there is more to a stock than just the trend. In fact, last Monday, I finally decided on a 6-month official price target on NNDM in our morning briefings that we give to ZipTrader U members. I put it at a $15 to $20 range. But then a few days later, I upgraded it to $25. So my price target on NNDM is $25. So how did I come to that conclusion? Well, first, let me just say, I've always been skeptical of new disruptors, especially ones that take a complicated technology and try to compress it into a small box that's very easy to digest for investors, but maybe kind of difficult to understand if it actually works properly or not. For example, if you remember Theranos, they offered an all-in-one solution for a different sector, biotech. The idea was you give a drop of vampire blood and the product was supposed to test you for a ton of different diseases all at once. Well, it turned out that that didn't work and the whole company went defunct. But the point is that the company had convinced investors that it had this technology, mostly because Theranos wasn't very transparent, but also because the people didn't understand the technology in the first place. And likewise, NNDM, while indeed in a completely different sector, is offering a one-stop solution. But unlike Theranos, it's already shown some proof of concept. They already have 60 systems being used globally, much of which are being used by leading research institutions around the world, multi-billion-dollar defense manufacturers, and even the US Department of Defense. As you may imagine, it is not that easy to become a certified Department of Defense vendor, and that does lend some credibility to the company and its products. Now, 60 working systems may sound good in comparison to Theranos, but in any other context, it's still small chickens. Buck, buck, buck. I cannot emphasize enough that this is an early stage company. Contrary to what you probably have read on many different forums, this is a company that's very, very small. NNDM is a toddler. Its accomplishments that I mentioned are great and real, and this is the sole toddler in this specific niche of the market, but it's still a toddler. It's a toddler that picked up a violin and can play a song or two, and sure, that makes it impressive and also makes it more likely to be a child prodigy, but it also might end up growing up to be a deadbeat. So you have to understand that, and that's what you get with these early stage companies that accomplish things. They're basically toddlers that picked up a violin and could play. But anyways, to understand the true value of Nano Dimension, you have to look at the total addressable market. 3D printing, like I said earlier, offers a solution for pretty much every electronic device manufacturer, but it specifically offers value for ones that actually need very high tech. Circuit boards, which is obviously the ones in emerging industries. And many of these are ones that are very hot right now, like 5G, next-gen aerospace technology, defense, medical tech, and of course, electronic and autonomous vehicles, which is obviously two other big hype sectors. I've also read a lot of unconfirmed rumors that the ARK Space Fund is considering including NNDM in it, specifically because ARK thinks that this technology is going to be extremely useful for the competitiveness and efficiency of proprietary space technology. But it is useful for all of these markets. Remember, Nano Dimension gives the ability to take a crucial part of manufacturing in-house, allowing industries to accelerate their time to the market, improve their efficiency overall, protect their intellectual property, and increase design possibilities. Right now, if you want to design something, you have to sit down with a middleman, and the middleman goes in contracts with a third-party manufacturer, oftentimes in China or another cheap country. This slows down the whole process, is more expensive, is less reliable, and of course risks your intellectual property leaking. And so Nano Dimension and its technology offers a solution to that, bringing all of this in-house. Okay, so now for the good stuff. How does Nano Dimension make money off this? Where are the greens, the Benjamins, baby? Well, you may think it's from the printer yourself, and it is quite expensive, but that's not where they make the money. The real money is from their reoccurring revenue model. As you know from many of the other stocks that we've discussed, my favorite thing to see is a reoccurring revenue model, something that shows that the more people they get in their network, the more money the company makes, and the more money that they retain with those customers. So when you buy a printer, that is not the end of your transaction with Nano Dimension. You now also have to buy 3D printing inks, which means essentially that the more printers that Nano Dimension can sell, the more reoccurring revenue they have, because if you have a printer, you have to buy the ink from them. And if you just placed a huge investment for a 3D printer, guess what? You're going to be using that thing a lot. When you use it a lot, you're going to run out of ink very quickly, and that means more and more people buying ink, and that means that NNDM has its hands and its paws, its greedy little paws, in all of these companies that actually go and buy its printer. Combining this with NNDM's first to market advantage and huge market potential, you can see how NNDM has a great shot at being a winner. So in conclusion, based on the potential and the overall trend of the stock, I see this as a $25 play in the next 6 months. I am not somebody who places extremely high price targets for years in advance, even if I think the company has a high chance of going up 100 times the next 5 years. And the reason is because I need to see more proof of concept. If something's a toddler, I don't want to go and look at a toddler at a foster home, no offense to foster children. We love you, but I cannot pick just one small toddler out of a home that stands above the rest and say, hey, you are going to be the next professional violinist. It's just too early to say. If he is picking up the violin before the other toddlers, I think it's more likely that he's going to be a professional violinist and a prodigy. But at the same time, it's too early to say. I'd rather say, okay, well, based on where he's at right now, it's likely that a year from now, he's going to get even better at playing violin. But I would like to reevaluate it at that point. I don't want to just say, oh, you know, when he's 20, even though he's 3 now, he's going to be a insane violinist. I'd like to give an update when he's 3, when he's 5, when he's 10, when he's 15, and so forth. So I hope that I got the point across, and I hope that wasn't offensive. I tend to say things that are just a little bit questionable. But anyways, my only tip with this stock, if you're going to play it, is to make sure that you're buying it on a dip. And NDM loves to dip repeatedly in its uptrend, so make sure to get a good deal and wait to buy in on a dip from the uptrend. Also, one other thing that I should mention is that NNDM loves to do direct offerings, but pretty much everyone has been brushed off so far by investors. And even though we had one just last week, I think it's likely that we will see more offerings in the somewhat near future. So keep that in mind as well. If you think that this isn't going to sell off, you are very, very wrong. It's going to have a very, very rocky uptrend, just like it has had over the last couple months. Okay, folks, well, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us in the comment section below or join us on the lovely ZipTrader Circle Facebook group. I'll also put the link to that below as well. And if you're wondering what broker to trade these stocks with, well, we always send new traders over to Webull, and they are offering 4 free stocks if you both sign up and deposit with our link in the description below. And lastly, if you'd like to learn how to trade, we also have ZipTrader U with our morning briefings and private chat linked in the description below. Anyways, folks, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.